We were the welcoming committee for the United States of America for hundreds of people that day. So we got a call for a Land Rover LR3 that had rolled off into a ravine. It was a little bit south and west of El Centro, and it's right on the Mexico border there. The gentleman had tried to go up an obstacle, and he couldn't make it. And in backing off, he hooked the wheel off the side, and then it went off and rolled down. You know, I've never dealt with border agents or anything like that. Like, I didn't know exactly what we were getting into. But we went down there and they were super helpful. I'm like, hey, we got this Land Rover up there. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. But then he warned us. He said, I'll let you know when a group of people are coming in. And I'm like, oh, immigrants. They're coming in. He's like, yeah, they use this road. He's like, we got cameras up there. And he says, I'll try to tell you. I'm like, okay, is there going to be a problem? He's like, usually there's not. You're not going to have a problem. We get up there to the vehicle and realized somebody's stolen 3 of the 4 tires. And they've started taking apart the suspension. They took a rock slider. So this thing's getting picked over. We realize if we're going to get this out of here, we've got to get wheels. My buddy Colby, my cameraman, I put him on Facebook Marketplace, and he found some wheels in San Diego, and I sent him and my boy in there. And the trail this was on, every trail I'm on is worse than the last one. This is the worst one. I had my wrecker there, and it was about this much too wide for the road. So I stayed there and dug out and repaired the road as best I could. And then we realized when those guys bring the tires, we don't have anything to bring them up. And this is a big hike. This is 1.5 miles of 15 to 20% grade. We ended up calling some locals there that are in the off-road community, and they agreed to come out and help us. They brought a really built Samurai with Toyota axles. When Colby got back with the tires, we loaded the tires on that, and then they came up the trail to us. Talking about the immigrants, I didn't realize this, and this is the first time I've ever seen this. We were the welcoming committee for the United States of America for hundreds of people that day. So we're up there setting up and trying to get this set up. And this group of probably 40 Mexican immigrants, they come down. And when they see me, they scatter. And not all of them. Some of them stayed on, but it was about thirds. A third went this way, a third went this way, and a third stayed on the road. And then they asked me if I was immigration. And I said, no, that he's down there. And they're actually looking for him. Because if they go and say the right words and he hands them a paper and then they go through the system instead of getting deported back. And I learned that from the border agents, that's his job was to hand out papers. So we had 2 groups of them come down, and then the rest of the day, not a single Mexican came across the border. But every other ethnicity that I could think of did. We had Chinese, Japanese, Cantonese, all sorts of Middle Eastern. Yeah, we had Russian, we had Ukrainian. And what was interesting is the Mexican immigrants came across, and they would be kind of stereotypical. They look like working class, but the other ethnicities that came across look like who you would see in first class on an airplane. That's what it looked like. They were dressed very nicely, and they had nice bags, and there was kids and families and backpacks and Dora the Explorer, and it was very, we're all just looking at each other. We've never, I've heard this stuff, and you never know. You're never sure. Like when somebody's like, oh, they're pouring over the border. You can say a lot of things. Well, I was there, and I met them all. So it was a very eye-opening experience for me. While we're extracting this Land Rover, we have to keep stopping. Like my winch cable's tight, like neck level, so I'd have to run it out and hold it up while 10 or 15 or 20 people passed under it. And we're on a road. Remember, the road is about the same width as my wrecker, so they're having to walk on the uphill side of my wrecker and push off from the tires and the body as they're doing it because they're up against a cliff like that. Like we're helping them with their suitcases. getting through there. And we've got this job to do. So when we see them coming, we're like, oh, we got to stop working on the job and help these people through. We wanted to be careful showing them on our video because our video's entertainment, it's family oriented, and not politically charged. And so we were careful to not show that part of it. I don't know if that's for better or for worse, but that's what we did. We ended up getting the wheels on the Land Rover and ended up getting it out of there. It was dark by the time we got it off the mountain. So it was a big deal getting this Land Rover back up on the road. It's a pretty heavy vehicle, and it was practically a deadlift. And so the wrecker, we had to run cables up to rocks and anchor points up there, so we had enough weight to pull it up on the road. We finally got it on the road, and now it's dark, and we've got to go down. And if you're unfamiliar with off-roading, if the trail is super sketchy uphill, it's more sketchy downhill. So when you're going uphill, if things get bad, almost always the brakes can solve the problem. You can just stop and assess the situation. If you slip off, you have to be quick enough thinking to turn uphill and gas it. And then now you might be stuck like this, but at least you're not doing this. Downhill is a lot harder to do that with because the gravity's pulling you down, but it's pulling your front end down harder than your back. I don't know why it feels that way, but it does. So the throttle trick is harder to pull off. Usually when I'm going downhill, if I slide off, I try to steer down the hill and ride it out. This would have been a bad place to do that, but that was our options. We did make it around the rock, barely. It's the sketchiest. That is the sketchiest place I've ever had the wrecker. In fact, it's the only time I believe that I put my full harness on and tightened it up like I was gonna go racing. So, like it was like double check all this stuff and all right, we're gonna do this. Well, we got it down there at the bottom. When we got down there, there was 3 or 4 agents. There were some of them waiting for us that had begun off their shift. They wanted to see this, get this off, and it was that was a heck of an experience. That's a job I will never forget. Just the whole flavor of that job. Missing the wheels, having to go on Facebook Marketplace getting them, the sketchy nature of the recovery, and then dealing with foot traffic all day long. And the agents told us they were not coming this way anymore. The masses were a few miles to the west of us crossing. So they're like, yeah, this is nothing. Like this is almost stopped compared to what it was.
For the last 20 years or so, I've been working with Premier Financial Services for my own exotic car needs, but also sending friends and clients when I was a car dealer to Premier Financial Services because their simple lease is truly the most powerful tool in the world of exotic car financing. We love it because we get all the great things about leasing, like low upfronts, better tax treatment for business owners, lower sales taxes, but we also retain all the great things about a traditional finance arrangement, like the ability to accumulate equity, trade in and out whenever you want, and always know where your payoff stands because they give you an amortization table with every single lease. And Premier's been a supporter of VINwiki here for the last 8 years, and we love them for that, but truly because the customer support of the Premier Financial Services team is unmatched. And now that they're backed and wholly owned by First Financial Bank, that gives them even more buying power for their portfolio of the most significant and valuable collector and exotic cars in the world. It's also allowing them to create new and more interesting finance options and programs for their clients and giving them much more buying power, which is what everybody is looking for as they go on the search for their dream car. So check out Premier Financial Services right now at the link in the description below to thank them for their support of VINwiki and know that they'll be the perfect supporter of your journey to own your dream car.